In an explosive revelation in the Telangana phone tapping and snooping row, ex-Deputy Commissioner of Police P. Radhakrishna Rao has claimed that devices belonging to media industry bigwigs, retired cops and politicians, this includes from then-ruling BRS, were hacked and monitored. Police DCP said that illegal surveillance was done at behest of former Chief Minister KCR and that phones of not just opposition leaders but also BRS leaders were tapped. He said that KCR wanted BL Santosh to be arrested to get relief from K. Kavita in the ED case. Remember, the Telangana phone tapping case involves the alleged gathering of electronic data, not just for political intelligence, but to blackmail leaders and even private companies and Tollywood celebrities. And Uma Sudhir joins us to get us more details in this story. Uma, these are explosive revelations. What can be the fallout of something like this?
This is certainly very damning for the former Chief Minister KCR as well as his party and many senior leaders who are also being named here and there. At least the first family of the former Chief Minister is being named. This confessional statement, I must point out, happened soon, in fact, after the arrest of Radhakrishna Rao on the 29th of March, and on the 4th, in the presence of two revenue officers, the police say that they have recorded this confessional statement. It's a 6-page statement in which he has, in fact, talked about many things. This includes one, speaking about widespread tapping of phones, monitoring, creating profiles of people, whoever they believe could actually harm in any way the BRS interest. So they were looking very specifically at whoever was having any voice of dissent, anyone who could indulge in any kind of an anti-party activity, people within the party and also people outside of the party. So there is an entire spectrum that they are talking about. And interestingly and very significantly, he says that during the Munugod by-polls, in fact, he mentions that before the 2018 assembly elections is when they seem to have kind of perfected this art of getting specific inputs, and that it was used to safely transport money for the BRS, while at the same time, which was TRS at that time, while at the same time using the same intelligence to catch the monies being carried or transported by other political parties for use in their election campaign itself. So he says it happened in 2018 assembly elections, 2019 Lok Sabha elections, and again before the 2023 assembly elections. And he is also making the third damning thing, I would think, is about the MLA poaching case, which KCR had made quite a hue and cry about. And in that case, Radhakrishna Rao says that the Chief Minister came to know of this through pilot Rohit Reddy, one of the MLAs who was part of that operation, and that a few more MLAs were roped in, and the entire thing was set up, that he himself had got cameras that were set up in the farmhouse in order to try and trap those people who are trying to poach. And the former DCP in fact claims that he had wanted to get BL Santosh arrested so that he could get rid of the ED case against his daughter Kavita. These are of course all very, very damning statements against the former Chief Minister. This is a confessional statement of one of those who has been arrested, and this officer is also speaking about the SIB Chief Prabhakar Rao, who is in fact the first accused in the case and for who a red corner notice has been issued, and that this person was the one who was controlling or monitoring all the operations on behalf of the leadership of the BRS. He has also specifically mentioned Harish Rao as having initiated as having asked Prabhakar Rao to have a conversation with the head of a news channel, and that was used to monitor not just the phone conversations, but also because many of these people had gone to encrypted messaging platforms like a Signal or a WhatsApp. They had in fact gone to they had used internet voice data protocol, the internet protocol of using the data that they got out of it in order to monitor who is in touch with who. There are other specifics as well, including the arrest of someone who has been a staunch critic of KCR, Mallana, and he says KCR did not like any dissent or criticism and he wanted him put away. We are now joined in the discussion by BRS spokesperson Raula Sridhar Reddy and also BJP spokesperson Rachna Reddy. To you first, Mr. Sridhar, this confessional statement, of course, it's about, it's more than a month old, certainly, 6 weeks old, but very, very damning for the BRS chief and the former Chief Minister.
I mean, these kind of leaks are actually, doing rounds for the past 1-2 months, and there's nothing new. And yes, of course, he was in the is in the police custody, and a few newspapers and a couple of media channels also, in between have sent out these kind of information. But see, he is in the police custody, and this was said to be a confessional statement. So there is nothing new in this. The same allegations Congress party leaders, rather the leaders in the important leaders in the government were saying for so many days. There is nothing new, and let the truth come out. Let the case be investigated thoroughly. And as they have been saying for a long time, the same news today is coming in a different form. But we always have denied this. We have condemned these kind of news. In fact, Sri KCR himself, in a media interaction in the probably this month on 11th or so, he denied the reports, and he said in an NDTV interview also that generally a chief minister will get only a final report of an intelligence
That have been
department,
raised there,
not
Mr.
on a
Sridhar. The Radhakrishna Rao himself says that he wanted somebody who is confidential. All that equipment was also seized. Remember, there were so many of those hard disks and computers that have been seized as well. And of course, the prime accused is missing. It's only that link that needs to be added to this chain to corroborate the statement of Radhakrishna Rao that Prabhakar Rao needs to come back. He was someone who was handpicked by the former chief minister. Is something that's known quite publicly.
See, that is one of the continuous statements you're talking about. That's what I'm saying. Let the investigation be completed. Let the police department come out with full details, with a charge sheet, whatever they file before the honorable court. And you still need to get the information from other authorities whom you have not taken into custody or so. So this is one side of the story, and honorable former chief minister already has denied all these allegations in the past. So BRS also is of the same opinion that these are allegations at this point in time. Let the investigation go on, the truth will come out.
Yeah. Okay, Rachna, let me come to you. MLA poaching case, so to speak, was something that KCR had spoken about as a big scandal and said that there was an attempt to break his government as well. And now one of his former police officers, of course, who has been arrested and in police custody, confessing that he wanted BL Santosh arrested in order to negotiate on behalf of his daughter.
Uma, speaking about the MLA poaching case itself, I was involved with the case in both the writ jurisdiction as well as in the criminal jurisdiction, and the case was happening. And this confessional statement is almost aligns with our belief that all the information that was obtained by the PRS party, or rather by the state government on the prosecution side and the law enforcement side, was through illegal underhand means. Because the kind of evidence that they produced in court is something that you would not and could not have obtained legally speaking. And that was also one of the instances that the Honorable High Court commented upon. How is it that this information or this photograph at this place, was in your, is with you? And how is it that this specific information that could not have been made public except between a conversation between two people, how is it that you have access to it? So having been privy to both the cases in the Honorable High Court, I can now vouch for the fact that this, Mr. Prabhakar Rao or even Radhakrishna Rao should not have had any reason to
in addition to being
government.
a BJP spokesperson, you're also a lawyer. While the BRS says that this is a criminal conspiracy and calls it a political conspiracy because the Congress wants to, in a sense, fix Mr. KCR. You see a lot of, one of your MLAs are also one of the complainants. In fact, Raghunandan had gone in and complained about this kind of tapping that he believed he was a victim of as well. So you're saying this will stand legal scrutiny?
Yes, it will stand because, see, Mr. Radhakrishna Rao's confession was done in a proper way, in the sense the confessions that required to be taken and for confessions to be admissible, they ought to go through a certain legal process. The hunch witnesses were there and all of them certified bet confession. So unless he retracts it, or unless he becomes a hostile witness, or unless KCR and his party, etc., will produce evidence that this could not have been so at that point of time, then that confession has to stand, because the confession was made in an environment that is
just
legally
one final thing
feasible
before we
and
wrap up.
possible.
We are running out of time, Rachna. Just one thing. This confession, in fact, happened in April. Do you think it had, the fact that it is coming out in detail now, of course we had leaks even before this, but something like this coming out after the elections have happened here, do you think there is any political motive to it? All said and done, a Congress government is in power here.
I mean, irrespective of it, what will be the political motive? I mean, the Lok Sabha elections are over. The election result is sealed. So what other political motive? I mean, the MLC elections today, I think it's a stretch of imagination to think that this confession will affect the MLC election today in any which way.
Okay.
And the fact remains that
Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Sridhar and Rachna, for joining us on this discussion on the phone tapping revelations that seem to be coming out through the confessional statement of former DCP Radhakrishna Rao. Back to you, Delhi.